This groundbreaking live stream event featuring Eric, founder of SHOPX, a revolutionary SaaS platform offering blockchain as a service. In this must attend episode, Eric will blow the lid off of the blockchain industry, revealing his insider secrets, money making strategies, and a sneak peek at game changing innovations. You'll discover how complete beginners are tapping into the power of decentralized tech to generate life changing profits. So, with that, Eric, I'd like to welcome you to the software spotlight.
Hey, Michael, thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful and looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, no, we're really excited to have you here, and at a high level, I was hoping you could give our audience just a peek behind the curtain and a little bit of a look at what's going on there at ShopX and what you've done to get yourself to the point where you are right now.
Yeah, so what is ShopX? ShopX is a way for brands to monetize in Web3. And if we're going to go into that, I think it's important to talk about what Web 1 is versus Web 2 versus Web 3, so we have a good base understanding.
Sure.
So I would say Web 1, just think of read only. So you can go online, you can read stuff, which is fantastic. It helps spread information. Web 2, the easiest way to frame that is with social media like Instagram. So you can read and you can write, but you can't own. So that means I could write a post on Instagram, you can read that post, but Instagram can cancel us at any point in time and sell our data for nefarious purposes. Web3 is read, write, and own. So not only can I read content and write content, but I own the content. So this is extremely important behind the ShopX ethos, is because we empower Web2 brands to enter Web3. So ShopX, we're going to be a suite of products for a brand to download our app and then enter the Web3 ecosystem. We have 2 products live. The first is SquadX. That's the first ever blockchain ambassador program. Our second product is ReserveX. That's a NFT powered loyalty program for Shopify and WooCommerce brands. And it's used by the likes of Fox's new show Kapopolis. And a cool new exciting product we're coming out very soon, like by the end of summer, is MerchX. And that's attaching that's tokenizing real world assets or RWAs and attaching a NFT to each individual product SKU, which has a plethora of benefits.
Great. So let's dive into each of those areas because I think there's a lot to unwrap there.
Right.
And I think at a high level, it sounds like the 3 spaces that you mentioned there are really opening up the whole market in terms of really bringing it to brands that are very familiar to the market today, but may not be involved in the blockchain at all. So, can you talk about that first area and how brands are receiving the solution?
Yes, I'm happy to talk about this. And this helps cryptocurrency as a whole because I feel that Web3 and crypto is a mass adopter for 2 main reasons. The first is the user interface. So for the average person, interacting with a crypto or Web3 product just isn't there. And the second reason Web3 isn't mass adopted is there's no incentive to enter the space. So what ShopX does is we create incentives for e-commerce brands to enter the space and then bring in their customers. And all of our products are related. So we built our solution holistically and powerfully. What does powerfully mean? It means that when we design our products, all parties involved win, and that makes the product itself sustainable. So let's talk about ReserveX and SquadX because they play very well together and they're live right now. So ReserveX is a NFT powered loyalty program. So if you're a brand on Shopify or WooCommerce with zero blockchain experience, you can download our ShopX app from their app store, just like the iPhone. And then from within your Shopify backend, you can launch your very first NFT collection with e-commerce benefits for your customer. We've simplified the NFT launch so it can be done in less than 5 minutes with no technical help. All you have to do is fill out 2 forms. The first form asks for like a name of the pass, a description, pricing, how many passes you want made. Click next. And then the second form is a landing page for your customers for them to purchase the pass because obviously they need a way to do that. It's so easy during the QA process. I had my grandma make one, and she was able to actually create and deploy an NFT contract because it's just filling out information.
That's great.
And then from there, after your NFT contract is deployed, what do you do next? Well, because we've already integrated your Shopify and WooCommerce store, you can add products to that NFT pass specifically for the pass holders. So for example, if Nike were to launch a gold, silver, bronze style pass collection, gold pass holders could get the product for free, silver pass holders could get the product for 50% off or something, and bronze pass holders could get the product just before everyone else. And you may be thinking, why would a brand do this? It's because of the brand benefits. I would say the most powerful brand benefit is the customer retention. So in e-commerce, the name of the game isn't acquiring the customer, which is called a customer acquisition cost. It's keeping the customer. And the reason is because more times than not, a brand will spend more money to acquire the customer than they make on the first purchase. So how do you keep them coming back? It's with our SHOPX NFT solutions because of the ownership. The customer feels like they have ownership in the brand, and we've seen a 6 times increase in customer retention. The second benefit I would say is conversion rates. So the average conversion rate for an e-commerce brand is around 1%. With NFT and Web3, we've seen around 80% because they've already committed to your product. So if you sell 100 passes, you can expect 80% of those people to purchase the product linked to the pass. And you can do some cool things with this. If you're a startup, this helps you judge how much product you have to make so you're not wasting time, energy, and effort on excess inventory. And you could also sell like half the product, and we see brands do this, sell like half the product, automatically sell out and create hype and FOMO. Okay.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
And the third, and I think this is the most powerful benefit, or one of them, but it's hard to track, is the word of mouth marketing aspect. Because the customer has ownership, they feel they have ownership in the brand, they take pride in the brand. We've seen customers change their profile pictures on social media to the NFT image of their brands, and they tell all their friends about this, and that's just hard to quantify. So let's talk about how this leads into SquadX and the money flow.
Sure.
So ShopX is a free app for Shopify brands to use because we're trying to drive mass adoption. So let's say Nike sells one pass for $100. Nike has control over 95% of the funds. ShopX earns 5%. So if Nike were working with an influencer, an agency, or whomever, they can program in that wallet address so everyone gets paid automatically at the point of purchase. So everyone's happy there. ShopX earns $5 in that transaction. And half of our revenue, so $2.5, we share with our community in the form of SquadX. That's that blockchain-based ambassador program. So this creates a nice positive upward spiral of retention. So as ShopX gets more and more clients, more and more brands have more and more mints, ShopX is earning more and more money. That means our community is making more and more Ethereum for helping our ecosystem grow. Then they come back, they go on brands' pages, they create authentic content. Like this is a strategy I've used in the past, is like we do a payout, they'll go on a major brand's page, talk about why they should use our solution. I'll copy and paste that tweet, and I'll go on my LinkedIn account, and I'll reach to the whole company saying, hey, I can help you out with this. And then that's resulted in multiple calls and deals. So this creates a nice positive upward spiral for everyone involved. And one thing I should mention is everything is powered by the SHOPX tokenized software license. So we're the first company that's created our tokens, our tokenized software licenses. For brands and participants to enter the SHOPX ecosystem, they have to have a certain amount of tokenized software licenses. And I think a very cool thing is right now our biggest client is Fox Television's new show Shopopolis. Our tokenized software license actually passed scrutiny from the Fox legal team, which means that legally it seemed good to them, and now they own some of our licenses.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. So, can you give a real world example of a day in the life of maybe a client that's using the two parts of the platform and what it looks like for their community, from when they issue the NFTs all the way through to the sharing and the redemption and all of that?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to. And I can give 3 examples just because one's an enterprise level, one's a mid-size, and one's a startup. I think it gives a nice
Sure.
holistic picture. So on the enterprise level, let's use Fox as an example, the new show Shopopolis. They have an NFT collection called the Crab Chickens. So I own a crab chicken. I get early access to content. I get access to merchandise. I can vote on stuff in the show. I get specific access to a Discord channel. And my crab chicken may even show up in the TV show, which is cool. So a nice strategy that they used is they actually launched their NFT collection prior to the release of their show. So
Okay.
on their air release date, they've already made millions of dollars, which don't get me wrong, millions of dollars is a lot of money, but to Fox Studios, it's whatever. But
Yeah.
the important thing is they had a hardened fan base going into the release of the show. So their episode actually had pretty much like the opening for Kababas had record numbers. So that was cool.
Sure.
The the mid-sized example, I like to use the Mag Park. So they sell hats and hypewear out of Los Angeles. Their biggest issue was whenever they released a collection, like a limit, like they released 500 hats, what would happen? Bots would come up, purchase that inventory within less than a second. They sell that inventory in the secondary market. They'd make 10x the profit. The brand's loyal customers wouldn't get the product. So what they were able to do was they launched a gold, silver, bronze style NFT collection pass. They sold out their first collection 125 NFT passes for 0.75 ETH, which is roughly $1,750 in less than 24 hours to their customer base, which is mainly like 24, like young 20s kids who just don't have that much money, but they wanted the
Right.
product, they wanted the pass, they learned the technology. Now they have access to a specific Discord, they help design the products, and now they get continuous drops. So whenever he releases a product, they get exclusive access to that. So they're excited. And the highlight about that drop is when he launched the pass, not only did it sell in less than 24 hours, but over 50% of the users who purchased the pass were 100% brand new to crypto, but they wanted the e-commerce utility that came with the pass. So they purchased the pass and learned the crypto ecosystem, and now they're involved. And Mickey, the brand owner, he now has a relationship with those customers, was able to make a ton of money without even shipping a single product. And now he has a fan base that buys his product. Now he has a fan base that buys his product every time. So that's cool.
Sure.
And this is one of my favorite examples. They're all, I actually like them all. But
Yeah.
the third example, I like the startup example because personally, I think the big brands like Fox, Nike, Sephora's, they have the money, they have the capacity, they're going to enter the space just because they can just throw money at it and eventually they'll figure it out. But
Right.
I like the long tail smaller brands. So this is why we made our app for Shopify, just because most of the brands are on there. If you're on Shopify, you can download our app and try it out. But there was this one dog on Instagram. His name was Husky Jackson. So he had he had a following, but he didn't have a product or a way to monetize yet, other than I guess whatever Instagram does.
Right.
So he's a normal guy. Like I bet him he's chill. Like he has a job. Like he has a 9 to 5 job. This is just like
Right.
it'll be a side business for him. So he launched his NFT collection, the Husky Pass, prior to the release of his product. He was able to raise some money to create his product in a Kickstarter fashion. And then from there, what's cool is since he already had that NFT pass, people already owned his pass, they've already bought into his product. He had a base of customers to sell to, which as a new e-commerce brand, the hardest thing to do is getting that base, the first like 50 to 100 customers who are loyal to the brand. So he started off with that, which I think is pretty cool.
Absolutely. So once the customers are into the ecosystem, can you explain the chain of money where the profit can come in along the way? As I'm sure that each of these, as they become more and more rare, can be sold or traded, or how does all of that work?
Yeah, so let's say the brand they successfully minted 100 passes, they've made a theory, they made money, they made 95% of that, whatever that cost is. SHOPX earns 5%, then our community gets paid that 2.5%. So that's all said and done. Now from directly within the brand Shopify store, they
Right.
can, since we already integrated with the Shopify WooCommerce store, they can easily add products. It's just a simple button. It says click add product, yes or no. The customers now then have access to the pass. And because of the Web3 ownership aspect, if the customer gets tired of the pass, they can sell the pass, they can pass it down, they can do whatever they want to the pass. And the brand has the optionality to program a royalty. So if the brand wants 5% every time the customer sells the pass, they can do so as well. And that's all done automatically. And the cool thing about this, it's a way for the brands to share their success with their loyal customers. So let's say hypothetically in the Mag Park example, the Mag Park blows up, becomes the next Nike or whatever fear of God like hypewear store.
Right.
theoretically the value of that pass should increase with the store. So it's a win-win for everyone. From the customer side, let's say let's say both of us are trying to purchase a token gated product. I have the pass, you don't have the pass. If I have the pass, I go on the site just like normal. I go to the product I want to purchase, click add to cart or click buy now. A screen pops up. It scans to see if I have the pass. If I have the pass, I'm able to add that product to checkout, and then just check out as usual because we want to interfere with that as little as possible. So like any retention emails still fire off. Whatever like what's the word? Yeah, whatever retention emails or whatever payment options the brand has already set up, we don't mess with that at all. So we're just simply
Right.
token gating the checkout. And let's say you don't have the pass. You're like, okay, well, I want to buy this hat. I don't have the pass. It tells me I need this pass I need this pass to get this product. There's a link. It shows the pass, what products are attached to that pass. You go to the link to purchase the pass. It's just a website. And then you could either purchase that pass with cryptocurrency like Ethereum, because we stick to the Web3 ethos,
Right.
or credit card to make it simple for customers. So let's say you purchase with credit card. What's happening on the back end is you're actually buying Ethereum with your credit card, paying for the gas on that, like the brand's getting paid. But all you see is that credit card purchase.
So the more successful the launch, the more exciting the token is, the higher the value can become on the secondary market as they keep getting traded and sold.
Correct. I mean, it really depends on the brand. So we just offer brands the opportunity to add e-commerce utility to the pass. So in this
Mhm.
MagPark example, he's continuously adding value to the pass, but we've seen brands do one-off for products like this pass is good for this one-time product only. So obviously after the pass is used for the one-time product, it doesn't have much value, but they would use this as a tool to gauge how much product that they want and create a sense of exclusivity within the brand.
Yeah, and you mentioned the increase in the conversion rate. That makes a lot of
Uh,
sense. Obviously, if someone's purchased the pass in the first place, they're interested in the solution or the product.
yes.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think it's the ownership thing. I think of it like a timeshare is for like I'm
yeah.
staying in Hawaii, I have a timeshare. You go to Hawaii, you're saying I'm going to highly recommend the timeshare. Whereas if I don't have a timeshare, it's like, yeah, you can say whatever.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. And you kind of alluded to that third area that you're working on, you know, getting to market hopefully for later in the summer. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that sounded like a really exciting next development that hasn't been out there yet.
Oh yeah, no. So this is really cool. So this is it's called SourceX or MerchX or MintX, whatever we want to name it in the future. It should be our prototype should be live summer with exclusive luxury items. So what this is, it's attaching an ENFT to each individual product SKU. A product SKU is essentially just a number that follows each product for its lifetime. A ENFT is just a NFT. It's a term we coined just to differentiate between NFTs, which are based on hype, and a ENFT is an NFT with e-commerce utility. So the SourceX solution could potentially attach a ENFT to each product SKU. So for example, if Nike were to attach a ENFT to each individual product SKU, they can track the product life cycle throughout its whole life cycle. So it could be like, it's sold for this much at this point in time. It's sold again for this much at this point in time. And they can collect royalties for that product every time it's sold. And on the customer side, since the ENFT is attached to each product SKU, you can track its lifestyle and you can track it back to the Nike factory, which is really important considering most knockoffs are done very well. And I guess this is just a cool tidbit of information where, like, let's say there's a Nike store in whatever country and that's how they're making their products. 2 out of the 3 shifts, so 8 hours, would be done under the supervision of Nike. So those are authentic Nike products. But then that same warehouse will be used for the other 8 hours at night for whatever reason to create fake products. So tracking that authenticity is extremely important. And if the metaverse becomes a thing, this technology plays perfectly into this situation. So let's say I purchase a pair of Nike sunglasses in the real world. The ENFT comes with that. That's the perfect transition to the metaverse. So my metaverse avatar has that. It has those glasses as well. And because it's an NFT, those glasses could give me token gated access to like the Nike Lounge or whatever metaverse perks they want to give me. And on the flip side, I could purchase a product in the metaverse, which could be a thing. Like they're testing that out now, buying stuff on like in AR and VR. The problem is like you can't show 2D products. It has to be like 8 to 10. But let's say I
Yeah.
purchase, you can't just like have a whole store.
Yeah.
But let's say I purchase that product in the metaverse. My avatar gets it gets my glasses or whatever product. My crypto wallet has this NFT and it has the NFT in its wallet, and then from there that can give me token gated access to the product in real life. So we can do some cool things with this, and this is what we're planning to do in the future. Imagine a world where everyone has tokenized products everywhere. Everyone could become potentially their own Amazon. So a Nike could be selling Adidas products. Apple could be selling Nike products. Why does this work? Because let's say Nike would attach a ENFT to each individual product SKU, then and they would attach a commission for that ENFT. So if Nike sells an Apple product, Nike gets a sale, Apple gets a commission, customer gets the product, everyone's happy. So I could sell my favorite Nike, Adidas products. You could sell your favorite Apple, Microsoft products, whatever they want, and then everyone could sell everyone's product, and this creates a more free flowing economy. So just think of like that scene in the Matrix where he summons all the guns, but with products.
So at a high level, so it sounds like the two benefits are making sure that a product is genuine or authentic, and the other benefit is tracking the life cycle of the product.
Yeah.
Are those the two main?
I would say the easiest benefit to grasp your head around is the authenticity aspect to make sure it's actually from there. And this, just think of it like a barcode that actually works. So like a little known issue with the barcode system is they're running out of barcodes. So you may scan a barcode of a chair. It could be a ladder. And I would say the more hidden benefit is increases the velocity of products being transacted.
Yeah, and if it's on the blockchain, obviously it can't be faked. I mean, it either is or it is not, authentic. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it's like our SHOPX, our grand mission is because I think companies need to have like a big goal at the end. So our overall goal is to have 80% of all NFTs be SHOPX NFTs. And with the SourceX solution, that's completely possible because like think of how many product SKUs like just Nike, let alone all of e-commerce has. So if we can attach NFTs to as many products as possible, we can reach them.
Now, when did you start ShopX? What year was that?
So ShopX started like it's been cooking for a while. So it's Cyrus is the CEO, so it's mainly his brainchild, but it's been optimized, different company names, different like as you know, building companies a process. So it started in like 2016, and we've been building that ever since. A cool thing is we're one of the first people to create a NFT before the NFTs were available. So ShopX tokenized a real world asset way before even NFTs were a thing. And we have the transaction hash to prove that. So that's awesome.
Sure. So Cyrus was obviously involved in the whole market at the very, very early days. So 2016. That's like
he's 20. I'd say he's probably 2014. I'm 2015, and then we met up in 2016. We started another platform. Like in the meantime, we started another just straight SaaS platform called CarveRev that got VC funded. We work on both things simultaneously, and obviously what you learn on CarveRev applied to ShopX. What you learn on ShopX, different name at the time, applied to CarveRev. So it was more of just like a giant learning experience. And what CarveRev did is it replaced affiliate codes for e-commerce brands. Okay. So on Shopify, so obviously we learned a lot about the Shopify ecosystem, talked with a lot of Shopify brands. So that knowledge was invaluable for what we're doing at ShopX too.
So what was Cyrus's background going into this before you met up? What was his background?
So we both went to the same school, and we met through a cryptocurrency meetup in Los Angeles, and we just clicked. So he was like a enterprise consultant for Deloitte, specializing in their tech sector. Me, I was a bankruptcy consultant who worked at Snap Inc., helping with their ad algorithm. So it just made sense to team up.
Yeah, and on your end, you obviously had a lot of the similar backgrounds and interests.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's honestly, dude, it's more of an interest thing. Like we're both passionate about blockchain, both kind of like the same stuff, like video games and just chilling and just overall similar worldviews. So like stuff clicked, and here we are.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Now, as a company, would you say, do you have a physical location, or is it distributed? Is the team all over the place, or how do you manage the day-to-day?
So prior to COVID, we did have one physical location in Los Angeles. It was more like because we know a couple of incubators, and incubator is just like a startup school, so they'd let us use their cool workspaces whenever we want. So we had our section there, and if we wanted to meet up, we could. Usually we'd work like we'd try, like it's nothing's being forced, so we'd work like 2 days in the office, meet up, and then we're working remotely there. But once COVID started, Cyrus moved to Miami, I stayed in LA. Our dev is in Korea. We have people like our head of PR is he's in Denver. So we have one of our growth hackers is in like Australia. So we have people all over. We like to keep a core team of just as small as possible. So I think keeping a core team is, I think like 5 to 10 is the ideal workforce team because you can work nimbly. You can work if everyone runs in their lane, they know their stuff, things get done. So having that team is cool. But then outsourcing specific agencies for specific business needs, we found that to be the most effective. So like for example, when we built out our e-commerce or WooCommerce integration, our team, like our tech lead, like our CTO at the time, he played project manager role and managed a third-party development studio to get that WooCommerce integration done. A lot of times we outsource marketing, we outsource community management, and we just have the core team kind of lead that charge.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line, if you can do it better, you do it internally, and if someone else can do it better or has the bandwidth or expertise, makes sense to outsource it.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So, can you explain, for our listeners, the whole concept of blockchain as a service? Like how that fits into the whole, field.
Yeah, so blockchain is essentially a ledger. And what this does is it offers incentive. It offers people incentivized to enter the blockchain. Why would people enter the blockchain? They have no reason. So if we can create a incentive for people to enter, like a service that they actually want, then they'll enter the space, and this creates a better world for everyone. So blockchain is just it's just a play on software as a service. So software, SaaS platform, blockchain as a service.
Okay. And so if you were to say at a high level, the whole concept of ShopX is basically, a highway or an on-ramp for brands and their customers to be able to become part of this Web3 space.
Exactly. So we're like Web 2.5. We're a way for an e-commerce brand to enter the space. If they want to enter the space, they use ShopX, and then they enter the space. So cool thing is we positioned ourselves to be that by designing our products in the simplest way possible. And we spent tons of effort, tons of time, tons of money just simplifying the whole process. Like, for example, that smart contract thing we talked about in ReserveX, for a brand to do that in less than 5 minutes, that took a lot of effort, but I think it was worth it. Because again, if we want the masses, it has to be simple for the brands, but more importantly, it has to be simple for the customers, because I think we both know how fickle customers can be.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've obviously made it simple for the brands and the customers, but what do you see as the main, like if you were to bullet point, like the main point or two for companies that are considering the solution? What is the main bullet point or two that companies would see as a benefit to using the ShopX platform?
Yeah, so that's going to depend by product, but the two main bullet points overall, I'd say bottom line, the customer will make more money, and bottom line, the company will have a better relationship with their customer. So if they can make more money while having a better relationship with their customer, it sounds like a win. And again, I think this goes back into the powerful versus forceful relationship. So a powerful relationship, a forceful one is not sustainable because one party loses, one party wins. A powerful one is sustainable because both parties win. So when we design ShopX products, we account for who's involved in this transaction, and we have to make sure everyone wins. So this one for the brand, let's say the brand, they interact with our space. The brand wins because they get their benefits. The customers win because they get their e-commerce utility. They want to enter the space if we win. ShopX wins because we earn money. The ShopX community wins because they do help us out. They win because they earn revenue as well. Cryptocurrency as a space wins because we're one of the few companies actually onboarding major brands and offering real people, new people to enter the space. The world wins because I view cryptocurrency as a benefit for the world. It creates a system where value extraction isn't the incentive, value creation is incentive. Because if I want to be rich, how would I do this now? I just place myself right next to the Federal Reserve, take that money, give to God knows where, give to government contractors. Now there's three corrupt people in politics. Those top three have access to the money. They beat the non-corrupt people. Now there's six, and we have that problem. But in a blockchain world, Michael, first of all, if you have Bitcoin, I would love your Bitcoin. So please send me your Bitcoin. How do I get your Bitcoin? I can't inflate it away. I have to provide something of value for you, and then you voluntarily give me your Bitcoin. So now if I want to become rich, I have to provide tons of value for a lot of people, which I view as overall a good thing.
So at a high level, can you put some numbers to it, like for some of the brands who are, saying, hey, we're happy with what we're doing now, everything's good. Why do I need to get involved in this space? What are some of the numbers, related to this portion of the market?
Yeah, so in terms of numbers, that's kind of difficult to do just because every brand operates at a different scale. Like the obviously the Fox guys, they made millions of dollars, but their key metric is the amount of marketing UGC that they got and hype around the show. So
Right.
like in terms of numbers, I think it was the most watched animated launch that they've ever had, despite it being the time. So like that was cool. COVID may had to play with it, but they crushed it there. The
Right.
Mag Park, when they sold their passes, they were able to earn 20% of their yearly revenue without shipping a single product, and their customers are happy. So that's cool. That ended up being like 250 to like 500K in that range. So
Right.
being able to do that without like doing it like without shipping a single product, I think that's a powerful thing. The Husky Jackson, the smaller brand, he made around like 5,000 to 7,000 depending on the price of ETH, which is
Right.
no small change because I mean I'll take $5,000, and then he used that
Absolutely.
to
Yeah.
launch his store and then earn more money from the customers he already had. In terms of so the conversion rates, in terms of the average e-commerce conversion rate, is 1%. With ShopX, we've seen 80%, so that's huge. In terms of what's like keeping your customers, so customer loyalty, we've seen roughly a 6x, and this is based on studies done from our brands. We're like, okay, let's see how many times these customers actually come back compared to the customers who don't have the entity pass. It's around the 6x increase.
Yeah, no, that right there is huge, and I think those are stats that any marketing person would understand, and it's something they're working with day in
Yeah.
and day out. So, what are some of the protocols or frameworks that you're using within your ecosystem?
So within our ecosystem, I can't give out our full tech stack just because
Sure, no, I
someone
understand.
legal will yell at me. But in terms of integrating, so we're based on the Ethereum. Our core is around the Ethereum blockchain. We follow
Okay.
the most decentralized, and something we're looking to is layer 2 protocols. So like ZK Sync, ZK Stark. Essentially, those are just proofs. And the reasons these are necessary is, let's say every in Ethereum, for your listeners, every time you make a transaction, there's a gas fee. This basically powers the market. So every time like you buy an NFT, you send an NFT, you send some ether, there's a small gas fee. So if that's fine for the brand for our products now, because like when a brand launches the ReserveX NFT, they pay one gas fee for that contract launch, and every time the customer purchases that NFT, they pay one set sum in gas fees, which is fine because they'll pay it because they want the e-commerce benefit. It's just like an extra tax. But let's say hypothetically, Nike wants to attach a NFT to each individual product SKU. Like let's say they have 10 million product SKUs, they probably have more. Nike is not going to pay a gas fee for each individual one. So layer twos are essentially proofs on the Ethereum blockchain. So they just had to verify that transaction hash once, and then from there everything gets verified. And so they only pay the gas fee once. So that's a technology we're looking at right now. We're in the process of integrating with other chains too. So we just launched our bridge, and it's still waiting to get approved, but all the tech is done on the back end to work with
Sure.
Avalanche. That's another chain, and BNB. That's the Binance chain, and we're heavily looking into Base chain as well. In terms of just like products we use, obviously, honestly, Trello and Jira, those are hard to beat in terms of software
Sure,
management.
the
So
Atlassian. Yeah.
yeah, Jira just crushes. So we use Jira, we use Notion, we integrate with obviously Coinbase Wallet, with Trezor, with hardware wallets, as well as Taurus Wallet, which is attached, and that's attaching a wallet address to each individual email, which I think is cool as well.
Now, you had mentioned that is it your current or your previous firm was venture backed in terms of when you launched?
Yeah, so they got yes, it was venture backed.
Okay. And
This one's
what company
self-funded.
was that?
So that was a company. Again, it had multiple names. So it's Polonly or CartRev, and it
Okay.
essentially replaced affiliate codes for e-commerce brands and where everyone could sell any product. So, for example, a Shopify store, they could download our app, they could upload their product to a database, and then me as the customer, I could sell one product, two products from three different brands through one singular link. That you could check out in less than 4 clicks, and we kept it native to Instagram, so you could make that purchase without leaving the Instagram site. So, for example, I could be like, okay, I like this Nike shoe, this Adidas hat, this Reebok shirt. I could add all three of them to my Eric link. You could go on my Instagram account. You could purchase all three products within 4 clicks from one checkout cart, so you don't have to go through three different stores. You get your product. The brand gets a sale, so they're obviously happy. Going back to this power
Right.
relationship, I get my commission, so I'm happy. And I think the cool thing about this was when the brands uploaded the products, they uploaded a discount as well, which took off their Shopify, like their website store.
Right.
So since we're pulling a discount that they set off their store, you as a customer, when you purchase the product, is actually cheaper than going to the brand's website.
Now, are you still running that company now, or was that spun off or sold, or?
It was sold for an amount.
Okay.
So all focus is on ShopX for me. So I'm running two companies right now. One's ShopX and the other is Dotting, and that's a AI-powered matchmaking service, which is probably not exactly related here, but it's an interesting tool. It's funny.
Yeah, no, and it's exciting because AI is obviously a very quickly growing space, and there's so many
Yes.
capabilities and possibilities. So it's
Yes.
very, very interesting.
Very cool.
So let me ask you. Obviously, you're a veteran in the Web3 space at this point, or
Yeah.
Web2 and Web3. Where do you see? What do you see as the biggest shifts in the market at this point? The biggest opportunities
Are you yeah.
in the
Overall sentiment has just recently shifted. So I could tell you from just specifically talking to brands over the bear market, that was
yeah
kind of a buzzkill just because, and we've had brands cancel past launches because of the timing of the market. So for example, we were going to launch a pass with Impact Wrestling. They're like a WWE type thing. And their pass structure, I think, is really cool. Like you buy a wrestler pass, you get autographed wrestler merchandise, and then you get access to a Discord channel where you can speak to your favorite wrestler. So like, I think that's
yeah
a cool way to do it. But
absolutely
they announced their PR release right at the time of the FTX collapse. So when they launched their PR release, they got ratioed in the comments because everyone thought NFTs are scams. So
yeah
they're like, they canceled it. But we've been talking to brands the whole time, and they've always thought that NFTs and Web3 are the future, but their customers aren't ready for that yet. And we've just seen that more brands are reaching out. So we see more brands reach out. I think the biggest metric for cryptocurrency as a whole is like the canary in the coal mine for me is when I have a bunch of VCs in my inbox, it's usually a sign of things to come. So I've
yeah
been getting much more messages from just random VCs like, hey, we're interested in your product. And I'm just like, oh, now you're interested. So they're just kind of
yeah
they're following the trend. It's like, well, now I don't really
yeah
need you, but
yeah
thanks. So that's funny.
where
So
were you, right? But
uh,
no, it's interesting, and
right.
obviously the sentiment and where the interest in the market space is, gives a good idea as to where things are heading.
And yeah, like
So
I do want to say one thing about narratives. So cryptocurrency is a game of narratives, and just to add value to your listeners, I think the four biggest narratives that are going to be in this upcoming cycle, I think the most important one is real world assets or RWA. So that's the stuff we talked about with SourceX. I think that's going to be huge.
okay,
The likes of like BlackRock are really getting behind that. So like there's gonna be a push for that, and I think ShopX is extremely well positioned for that. The second biggest one, believe it or not, I think it's gonna be memes. I don't know why. There's just always like memes or some degen thing that they went from there.
okay,
The third is probably gonna be AI coins. So like one of our classmates or one of our cohorts, AIOZ, they're AI based cryptocurrency. So I think they're gonna ride the AI hype cycle. So I recommend you check out AIOZ. And I think the fourth thing is going to be Launchpad tokens or Launchpad's products are like a paid network or Pulse or Launch Network. So essentially, you own access to the crypto project where other projects launch. So I think those may be the four major things. The ones I'm sure about are the ones I'm most sure about is obviously RWA and I think AI. Those two are going to crush it.
No, and I think it's really exciting. We'll have to do a follow-up episode once you've got things released over the summer.
Oh yeah, no,
To
well,
yeah, I
I'll,
think that's a
I'll,
really exciting opportunity.
I'll tease. Yeah, we've already got some lined up for like luxury cars and just a bunch of tons of luxury items. So like before our follow up items, you'll see just tons of PR and just tons of influencers and just tons of people posting about that. So we'd definitely love to do a recap after that's all said and done.
I love
And
it.
once
Well,
that, and
we
once
had
that's live.
Gliwi on our episode a couple of weeks back, when they have obviously a lot of influencers and the like. And I think, at a high level, the sky's the limit in terms of where the future of all of this is heading. So really glad to have you on the episode today, and appreciate you taking the time out to join us. On our next live stream, we have Ken Pomella. He's the CTO of RevStar, and he'll be sharing with us some of their digital transformations and a little bit of AI and some of their consulting and projects that they're working on. But I think today's conversation has been a really great peek behind the scenes. Eric McHugh over at ShopX, and I really appreciate you taking the time to join us on Software Spotlight today.
No,